Members of the Congress, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm privileged to be invited to this prestige event, the 12th CAROSAI Congress. So thank you for having me. I'm delighted to share the challenges faced by our small island nations in the Pacific, and I hope we can contribute to the theme of this Congress, targeting superior audit impact. Before I discuss the challenges, I would like to provide a brief background to the PASAI context to help you understand the challenges our member SAIs faced. I will discuss the challenges faced by SAIs in the Pacific as identified through SAI PMF assessments. I will explain some of the challenges post-COVID, and finally I will share our response and approach to assisting SAIs in our region to address these challenges. In terms of governance, PASAI's supreme authority is the Congress, consisting of all its 27 members. Under the guidance of the Congress, the governing board sets PASAI's direction and oversees the activities of the Secretariat. The Secretariat is located in Auckland, New Zealand, and as such, the PASAI Secretary General is New Zealand's Comptroller and Auditor General, who has a secondary oversight role of PASAI's management. The Secretariat is managed by the Chief Executive and consists of 8 staff, 5 directors, we have a communications advisor, and an e-learning specialist. The PASAI region has 3 sub-regions, namely Melanesia, Polynesia, and Micronesia. The 3 clusters are based on geographic location, and within our region, we also have SAIs and state audit officers from developed countries such as Australia and New Zealand, who support the Secretariat in providing technical support to our members from the developing countries. SAIs operate in 3 different government models: the Westminster Parliamentary System, the Congressional System, and the Court of Accounts systems. These different government models, they influence the operations of the SAIs through the legal framework, internal governance arrangements, and audit standards and practices. For instance, SAIs who operate under the U.S. congressional model are required by law to follow auditing standards issued by the USGAO or Government Accountability Office, and these standards are commonly referred to as the Yellow Book. Finally, to understand the challenges in small islands in the Pacific, I want to share with you the size of these SAIs. The biggest SAI has about 160 staff with a population of about 8.9 million, and the smallest SAI has 2 staff with a country population of 48,600. Within the same year, this SAI had 5 staff, and then it was reduced to 2. Few other SAIs in the region have more than 30 employees, and others range between 8 and 20 staff. Now the challenges. Independence is perhaps a challenge for all SAIs, but the difference lies in the extent of the lack of such independence and the effect of the SAI not having full autonomy to act independently and without fear or favor. I want to share some statistics on SAI independence in the Pacific region based on the SAI PMF assessments of 19 SAIs that we have completed so far. 53% of SAIs in the region requires appropriate and effective constitutional framework. 85% of SAIs do not have adequate financial independence. 52% do not have adequate organizational independence, and finally, 69% of SAIs do not have independence in the appointment and removal of the SAI head. So the importance of an objective supreme audit institution which operates in an effective manner lies at the heart of independence. And this can only be achieved if the SAI is independent of the audited entity and is protected against outside influence. The foundation of the SAI's existence needs to be recognized in the country's legal framework. As the supreme independent government institution, The SAI needs the authority and resources to fulfill its role and mandate by managing its own budget from proposal to allocation without interference from the Ministry of Finance or a President's office. The SAI is in a better position to use its funds in the most efficient manner, even in countries where resources are scarce and budgets may be limited. Even as part of a state, the SAI should have its functional and organizational autonomy so it can recruit the best possible staff and develop and apply procedures that are relevant and contributes to effective execution of the mandate. Finally, the perceived accountability of the organization can only be upheld in a SAI where leadership is appointed independently from the executive power and is able to lead the organization and its results without the risk of persecution. And I'm happy to share that SAIs in our region are continuously on a long journey to enhance their financial and organizational independence. And we're working closely with our SAIs to provide legal expert advice so that they can propose appropriate legislative amendments to improve or enhance their status of independence. Now, based on the SAI PMF results, SAI capacity and capability is another challenge that even our small SAIs in our region are facing. And capacity and capability challenges come in all sorts of form. And SAIs have limited resources, and these are human resource, financial resources, or capital resources. The level of economic and social development in small developing countries affects the level of resources available to or accessible by the SAI. SAIs have limited or no pool of qualified people to recruit from. Staff turnover is one of the major challenges faced by our members, and this is exacerbated by the limited or no pool of qualified people where the SAI can recruit replacement auditors for those who have left the SAI to chase a better salary. In some countries in our region, they do not have universities or well-established tertiary education systems, and because of that, countries will send those who are able to go overseas, get a degree, and hopefully return home to contribute to the development of their countries, which sometimes is not often the case. Lack of strategic management capability is another challenge that small SAIs in our region face. And from SAI PMF, they have highlighted the importance of SAI taking ownership of its operations, specifically in developing and implementing strategies to ensure the SAI's scarce resources are utilized effectively and efficiently to achieve targeted outcomes. SAIs seem to focus on their core business, and they are able to plan audits properly, but they're neglecting the importance of strategic thinking and aiming for the value creation resulting from their core function of conducting quality and timely audits. Another challenge faced by SAIs in terms of their capability, they have weak internal governance systems. I think it's important that SAIs establish internal control systems and effective HR practices to ensure quality performance and superior audit impact. SAIs have limited engagement with a wider stakeholder community. Again, SAIs can be tunnel vision and focus only on stakeholders that they engage as part of its legal mandate, such as legislature, PAC, Public Accounts Committee, the entities they audit. Again, SAI PMF emphasized the importance of building and maintaining a professional relationship with key stakeholders, including the media, civil society organizations, and the public. And we reflect on the Inter-SAI P12 objective for the SAI of demonstrating ongoing relevance and making a difference in the lives of citizens. Finally, IT infrastructure are not well established in most of our SAI members. Most SAIs have outdated operating systems, internet access is limited, and internet connection is unstable. So looking at the post-pandemic challenges, and these may be new, or these challenges have heightened or the existing challenges that most SAIs have faced. The pandemic certainly changed the auditing landscape as nations face new economic, environmental, and social risks. The SAI needs to adapt quickly to remain relevant and to make an impact. New risks, the way government do business, this e-commerce, present new procurement risks, cybersecurity risks, and socioeconomic risks, which the SAIs need to understand and consider when planning audits. The effect of the pandemic changed the dynamics of the SAI's service delivery model. The on-site visits and presence of the audited entity have suddenly changed to auditing remotely. Requesting and sharing of audit information and evidence online slowly became the norm, a new norm. Again, our small SAIs with limited capacity and capability struggle to adapt, struggle to deliver quality audits, and struggle to make a difference. Competing priorities. After the pandemic, I think expectations of the SAIs have increased as new risks evolved. Different stakeholders have their own expectations and demands. For instance, it was probably the first time we had, at the Secretariat, we had a problem spending funds from our development partners. And what we do, we develop a lot of programs. We try to, I think it's the pressure from development partners to spend forces us to push the pressure on the SAIs through engaging or introducing new interventions, new training programs, on top of already existing priorities that SAIs have to juggle with at their own respective countries. So this is a new challenge, and it can be external as well as internal. Given the existing challenges with the internet access and connection, small SAIs are now trying to learn new online tools, Zoom meetings, joining online trainings. These are all new norms that the SAIs are now trying to come to grips with. They need to keep up with new technologies and tools and learn how to use them if they want to improve efficiency and create greater impact. And finally, post-pandemic presents new working arrangements, I think. The idea of working from home, the idea of having Zoom meetings. Some countries, it's not possible to do any work from home due to the limited or no internet connection. And that's the reality. I don't know how long some of our small island countries have to put up with, or whether it can be improved. I think it's a question of time, it's a question of funding, it's also a question of who will come to the table to improve the IT infrastructure of these small island countries. So now, with all those challenges that I've shared, I would like to quickly share, so how does the PASAI Secretariat respond to these challenges in our region? Of the 27 members, the Secretariat support 20 SAIs from developing countries to build their institutional, organizational, and professional staff capacity. Just before COVID, we established an online learning platform, our learning management system. And it must have been very timely that we had to, it was like the next step for us to support our members, was to deliver training using that new learning platform. We partner. Our support. We partner with IDI. We partner with the Swedish National Audit Office, the Australasian Council of Auditors General. We also partner with other regional organizations in the Pacific, as well as our development partners. So, partnership. We benefit from these partnerships tremendously. For instance, IDI, we've had a lot of collaborations in regional programs that they've delivered, such as the cooperative audits, the SPMR, the SAI PMF initiatives. With the Swedish National Audit Office, we have a collaboration to strengthen human resource management in the region. In terms of the Australasian Council of Auditor General, we have twinning partners. With our SAIs have twinning arrangements with some of the ACAC members. And then we also deliver training and workshops together with PIFTEC, another regional organization which aims at strengthening capability of the Ministry of Finances at the different countries in the Pacific. And we also partner with United Nations Development Program through strengthening public financial management systems in the Pacific. Another way that we support our SAIs is through engaging stakeholders, engaging consultants to complement the scarce resources at the Secretariat. And this is made possible by the continuous financial support by our main development partners, the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, DFAT, and New Zealand Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, or MFAT. Finally, a new approach that we have taken to support our SAIs is allocating the 20 SAIs amongst the 4 directors. Each director has a portfolio of SAIs to manage throughout the year. And we believe that in building relationship with the SAI and strengthening relationship and earning their trust so that we can help them support in the areas most needed and most relevant given their context. We've helped SAIs from afar, but now we want to get closer, change the approach by meeting regularly, discussing any issues they have, and provide advice right away. We want to provide timely advice and mobilize appropriate support and resources as our member countries need them. So in summary, I've shared the PASAI context to give you a high-level background of the region in terms of the government models and how it impacts the operations of the SAIs. SAI independence is not a new concept, but a challenge that most, if not all, SAIs share and we need to overcome. The various aspects of SAI capability and capacity need to be strengthened to achieve superior audit impact. SAIs need to embrace the new challenges presented by COVID and see them as opportunities to improve performance, leverage on new tools and methods of delivering their mandate. Finally, building trust and building close relationships with our member SAIs is essential as they navigate through these challenges and what lies ahead. I wish you a fruitful and successful Congress. God bless.